Fanbases are generally a group of people who like to talk about or debate things related to their favorite shows and movies in a very respectful manner towards other people that are also fans of the same interest. About 50% of the time. The other 50% of the time, the people in these fan bases, especially those in anime fan bases, for some reason have the urge to just create or do some of the most wild and nonsensical bullshit you'll ever see. So today, I'm gonna be talking about some of these anime fan bases that are just so insane that it is hard to believe that there are genuine people that act like this online. And starting things off, we're gonna be talking about the JoJo's fan base. Now, I can't really talk much about or critique their behavior overall, but if there's one thing I do know, at one point in time they were for real having schizophrenic episodes in TikTok comment sections because Netflix decided to push back Steel Ball Run all the way back to fall of 2026, and for about an entire week on Twitter and TikTok, this picture is the only thing you would see copy and pasted under any post. It didn't even have to be related to JoJo's or anime in general. There were people commenting this shit under a BTS post, and it just got blown out of proportion. For about an entire week this was going on, it dead felt like if the New York Knicks managed to go on and win the NBA Finals.
We win the finals! We burning the city down!
It was just chaotic as hell with all these Steel Ball Run fans running rampant from every corner of social media, rambling endlessly about some Steel Ball Run. Now, with all that being said, I low-key kinda get it. For example, imagine one of your favorite animes are airing right now, but instead of releasing the entire series at once weekly, they instead release a singular episode of this series, and you have to wait for an entire 6 months or possibly more for the entire thing to come out in the fall. That would deadass ruin my entire month, I can't even lie. But besides this whole Steel Ball Run meltdown, as far as I know, JoJo fans are actually pretty chill and low-key funny. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for many other fandoms out there. I want to talk about a fandom that's been getting a lot of heat recently due to its toxicity. The Gachiakuta fanbase. Oh, I don't understand why this fandom gotta start being bullshit right when it's at the peak of its popularity, bro. Like, I mess with Gachiakuta heavy. So much, in fact, I have made 2 videos covering some of the characters from this show. The creativity of the author Kei Urana is actually insane. I love her art style of the characters and the entire power system that she created in the series. It's unlike anything I've seen. But because of it rising in popularity, the fandom is starting to expand even larger, and that's bound to bring more toxic people into the fandom. But recently, these type of fans have been turning it into a complete mess, bro. It's so bad. These aren't the fans that are actually praising the series for what it is. Nah. These people are just complaining and arguing to the author about shit that just made zero sense at all. Like trying to force their ideas of how a certain character should be onto the author. For example, there were people that were trying to say shit like, oh, this character Tamsi, they were actually trans, but then Kei Urana just clarified saying that Tamsi was actually just a man, and people were getting pressed about this. Like, dog, get off her dick and let her write her characters how she wants, bro. Oh my god. And then there was a whole other situation where they accused her of being racist because of her reposting someone doing a Jabber cosplay, which people were deeming cultural appropriation because of how the person was cosplaying as Jabber. You know, the whole racist controversy shebang. She sincerely apologized for this whole ordeal on social media and ended up taking the repost down because it was obviously a misunderstanding. But it just wasn't enough for these motherfuckers. They were still sending her hate messages for this shit, even though she already apologized. Like, what more do you want from her? And you know how bad this shit is when people are now starting to compare this fandom's toxicity to actions of that of the My Hero Academia fan base, which I'm about to get into soon, but that is not a good look. This is like getting compared to Killian Hayes in the NBA draft. Like, twin, y'all are so insufferable. And these complaints by these so-called fans got so bad to the point where the author herself reached her breaking point and literally deactivated all her social media because the fandom was just feeding her with a bunch of noise pollution and it wasn't helping the author whatsoever, which I completely understand. If some random chud on the internet was saying that I wasn't doing my story right and I should be doing it this way, or being called a racist for absolutely no reason. Every single time I looked online, I'm turning that shit right off. Yo, on everything I love, these toxic fans of Gachiakuta for real pissing me off. They need to go get off Twitter and do something useful with their lives instead of sitting behind a screen harassing a author of an anime and manga that creates the exact series that they themselves enjoy watching and reading. What is wrong with y'all? Speaking of fan bases that are just pure mental torture because of what they post online, look no further than the My Hero Academia fanbase during the early 2020s. A prime example of arguably the worst fanbase of all time. Now, I'll say that the fanbase is way more tame now, but 6 years ago, it was an actual nightmare. Like, these fans were just rage bait in its purest form. Not only were they toxic as hell to the creator of the series itself, they were just straight cornballs. If you ask people now in the big 26 who love My Hero Academia and you go, oh, what was it like being in the fandom in 2020? They will dead start getting war flashbacks and tweaking out their mind. And unfortunately, I was there to witness a lot of the things that they were posting, especially the whole drama with people sending the author of My Hero Academia death threats because they didn't put gay ships or some bullshit, which was actually just ridiculous. However, I think that these corny ass cosplay and fanfiction videos that some of these fans were coming up with were just so much worse, bro. I wanna kill myself. These videos genuinely felt like Saikuno himself just created each of these videos for the love of the game. Like, bro, just take a look at this.
Todoroki, this is my mom. Mom, this is my Todoroki. No, wait, no. Hello, I'm his Todoroki.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
And then you got fanfiction TikToks where motherfuckers are just drawing their OCs to interact with characters of the anime. For example,
Bakugo Katsubi is not a monster!
and the cherry on top being that this girl had the audacity to replace my boy Tokoyami on the podium at 3rd place, thinking that this shit was tough or something. We might actually deserve destruction because who are these My Hero Academia fans feeling like, bruh? There is literally no other fan base that could be worse than this. I just got done recording and it completely slipped my mind that there is actually a fan base worse than My Hero Academia. Y'all ever heard of Hazbin Hotel?
What is this? What is this? Why are we immediately starting off with Angel? You guys don't understand how actually scared I am.
Yeah, them motherfuckers got it, bro. However, there's another fan base we cannot simply overlook, and I gotta mention really quickly on this video, even though I probably talked about them more times than I can count. Also, everybody in that fan base is dumb as rocks. It's the JJK fan base. It also goes without saying, we probably the most annoying fan base out there right now. Yes. Y'all already know how the JJK fanbase be getting down nowadays. Everything we say and create is straight mind pollution. In conclusion, anime fanbases can at times be safe spaces for people to share their common interests. However, an entire other section of that space got some of the dumbest and most toxic shit going on. But all in all, the only thing we can really do is accept that each fanbase is going to have its flaws and differences, and there's nothing that we can really do about it. Also, Classroom of the Elite fans are stinky, glaze Ayana Koji, and have the worst fandom of all time. Please stay away from them.
Pull up on my block, we smoke that AEO.